Good afternoon, good morning. ¿Cómo está? ¿Cómo está acá in Filipino? How we say it? Sawadee in Thailand. Arigato. Aloha. So hope you guys had a good weekend. Okay. I know you guys reached out over the weekend about some of your shopping issues, and I was able to reply to you guys as fast as possible. And let me say, the time that my response time was not that fast for you. I do apologize. Like, running around doing things. But I try to get back to you guys as soon as possible. Okay. Mufasa. So hope you guys are safe. Hope you guys are okay, not getting sick and nothing like that. And I hope you guys are working still and not playing hard and behaving. Don't do anything I wouldn't do. I plead the fifth on that one. Just saying. So anywho, we have a short lecture today. We got a short week coming up, but the week after is going to be a long one. It's going to be a long lecture Monday. But I am going to go over the shopping list for this whole entire week. That's going to carry over the next week. Okay. And I'm going to go over the recipes so you guys can see what items are on there. Even for the days that we're not covering this week, they're going to be for next week. So hopefully you guys were able to not overspend your stipend only for this 2 days, Tuesday and Wednesday, and then save the rest for next week. Okay. Because you're probably going to get on the stipend for next week, so you can go buy the items you need for next week. Okay, guys. So first things first, let's get this newsletter out of the way first. Okay. Pinche Mufasa. All right, here we go. Okay. Where we at? Present. Okay. So let me adjust my screen here so I can see all of you guys. All right, cool. So what is going on? Let's see what's going on. Actually, nothing's in the herb garden. The herb garden is kind of dead right now. Okay. What else? Just a reminder, there'll be no class this Thursday or Friday. It is Thanksgiving, so hopefully you guys are able to cook some Thanksgiving goodies for your family coming up. I know that we're reaching out to you guys, hey, right, for Thanksgiving meal. Okay. But be safe, be sound. Okay. Again, no class Thursday, no class Friday. You do have the weekend off, Saturday and Sunday. We'll be back Monday, and then begins a long stretch. Okay, so balances out. Okay. Remember, next week, Saturday is Saturday class. That's December 5th. Same bad time, same bad channel. That is why we get 4 days off this weekend. We get 1 day off next weekend. Okay, that's the way it goes. Okay. And again, this information is for those of you guys who did not take the ServSafe exam, and this is for you guys who may retake the ServSafe exam if you fail. Okay, so this is crucial information. Okay, sign up now to either take the exam for the first time or do a retake. When the exam will be given Monday, December 21st, 2020 at 10 a.m. and 1 p.m. Okay, steps. Mary Reardon, the appropriate fee, see below. Contact her at 512-451-5743 or email her at mreardon@escoffier.edu. You must bring your receipts to the exam. Email Chef Raff at srafferty@escoffier.edu to sign up. Okay. Fees, retake the exam is $45 if you fail the exam. I hope you guys have not failed. I have not received any word on who passed and who got, who did well on this exam. But if you have your information, you can create your account at the ServSafe website, and you can see your scores once they're loaded up. Okay. So to retake the exam, like I said, if you fail the exam, it's $45 to retake it for the bubble sheet. That's the one that was given to you guys. Okay. First time. If you're going to take your exam for the first time, it's a $25 deposit due upon signing up with Chef Raff. Returns once you have completed the exam. So that's money goes back to you. It doesn't stay, just a deposit. Okay. Deadline, December 4th coming up. Okay. December 4th, that's what, Friday? To sign up. Okay. So that's the deadline. If you guys are interested in taking the exam for the first time, okay, I know some of you guys took it. Again, go into your ServSafe website, create an account, and see how well you're doing. If you do need to retake it, that's when you need to retake it that time. Okay. 2020 holiday schedule. Okay. Again, we got Thanksgiving coming up. The next one is Monday, December 21st through January 1st, Christmas break. We're back Monday, January 4th. Okay, that's when we're due back. Okay. That is your 2021 holiday calendar. I know it's hopefully your feature instructors will put it up on the newsletter so you guys can keep track when you are going to be off and when we have no school. Okay. A couple of the websites to help with assistance with rent, utilities, and other types of financial assistance. You guys having hardships, staying afloat. Okay. And again, just a new website to help with mental issues during COVID. Okay, especially now we're going to go on the next phase. Okay. Crisis Center, if you happen to experience the loss of a loved one, they'll help you out. They got awesome counselors. Okay. Intra-school departments, again, Teresa Vargas is the one that you set up your bank mobile with. Okay, you should have no issues with that now. Again, I think you are pretty cool now. I think you're all set to receive your stipends with Mary Reardon to go buy your shopping at the store. Okay. If you have an issue with the portal, you shouldn't be having no issues. Okay, because your last block, everything was done through the portal. But if you do happen to have an issue or a glitch, that's who to call. Okay, send this. And this is their email to call. Okay, I mean to email them with whatever issues you may have with the portal. Okay. And again, CDC guidelines: how to protect yourself and stop spreading the germs. Right. Start spreading the cooties. Don't share the cooties. Okay. Disinfectant, you're using bleach. Okay. And again, it's 1 capful bleach, not half a cup, for 1 gallon of water. Okay. And again, Jamil and Ms. Ann Derrick are the two best friends you'll ever have, especially when it comes on to externship. Okay. They're going to set up a Zoom meeting with you, an appointment, and they're going to guide you through. They're probably going to do mock interviews and help you out with your resume. Okay. Featured employer, Chicken Salad Shop, is located on Burnett Road, serving flavoristic, unique takes on the classic chicken salad, sandwiches, wraps, and monster half-pound cookies and sides. If you're interested in being part of the team, please email your resume to Ivan Mills. Okay. Ivan Mills at thevanillaorchid.com today, or contact Career Service for more info. Ivan Mill is the Chef Molly's husband. Chef Molly used to be one of our chef instructors, but her business was booming, so she left and she stayed with her business. But she's still close relationship with us. Okay, Chef Molly is awesome too. Okay, so she runs the Vanilla Orchid catering business, and they're spawning a new one called the Chicken Salad Shop. Okay. North Italia, 500 West 2nd Street, downtown Austin, is looking for to hire prep cooks, line cooks, and dishwashers. All interested applicants are welcome to stop by North Italia to complete the application, or simply email your resume to sekalred@northitalia.com. Okay, cool place to go work. Additional opportunities: Holy Bagel, 4404 West William County. If you guys live in South Austin, okay, looking for overnight bakery production person. You're that kind of a person. If you're a night owl, stay up all night. Okay. Odd Duck, cool place to go. Right close to Barton Creek Road in South Lamar. Looking for a line cook. Is if you go travel on North Lamar, it's on the right hand side. Okay. Odd Duck, cool place. Different presentations, more modern presentations, great food. Okay. Ramen Tatsuya, was just there last week and a half with my intern from Wisconsin. Another awesome place to go. 1600 East 6th Street, looking for a lead line cook. Ramen Tatsuya. Okay, good place to go. Fresh ramen, pho, all the good stuff, and it's really awesome place to go to. Okay, Soto, South Lamar, 1100 South Lamar Boulevard in Austin, looking for sushi chefs and sushi helpers with makimono rolling skills. If you know how to roll, that's what I say. You will know how to roll sushi. Okay, you know how to roll cigars. You know how to roll sushi. It's real easy. Yeah. Workers needed. Again, dry storage. Okay. And you know what, guys? I'll be blunt with you guys. So whenever I teach regional, we teach lumpia, egg rolls, and whatever. And it's like, guys, I'm going to be honest. If you guys know how to roll a joint, you guys know how to roll a spring roll. That's all I say, and they know. Okay. Nothing hidden. It is what it is, right? Anyways, dry storage hiring. Okay. Monday through Friday, 8 to 1. So if you're interested, awesome place because the perks are all really great. You get to see what classes have as far as the product, what they're called, what their name, and how they look like. Okay. And again, this recipe is by Chef Lindsay. Look at that rebel. Rebel without a pause. Okay. Chef Lindsay's recipe. Okay. Cocoa pappardelle with roasted mushrooms and sauce demi-glace. Okay. Fall reminds her of hearty dishes that warm the soul during cool weather. One of her favorite dishes for warming the soul is fresh made chocolate pasta. She learned how to make chocolate pasta during her time at New York City at Prince. Michelin got recommended restaurant set inside an old printing press. Addition the cocoa batter to fresh pasta makes the texture silky and feels so smooth in your hands. There's nothing quite as peaceful as the feeling of making fresh chocolate pasta by hand. We'll be making pasta on Wednesday. Keep that in mind, okay? So this is her recipe for cocoa pasta, and I made it before for a chocolate wine dinner at the Embassy Suites. Everything was chocolate, and we had a chocolate lasagna on the menu, okay? So her recipe for cocoa pasta, roasted mushrooms, sauce demi-glace. If you guys are interested, there it is. Take a picture, okay? Take a look at it, and maybe want to experiment one of these days and make chocolate pasta. Knock yourself out, okay? Maybe fill it with chocolate mousse. I don't know. Make some raviolis, right? Make a lasagna, right? Ish, okay? Cannolis. Anyways, quote of the week: gratitude is the healthiest of all human emotions. The more you express gratitude for what you have, the more likely you will have even more to express gratitude for. Zig Ziglar. I have my own quotes of the weeks, and I will share with you guys later. Okay. Just for fun, the glances begin shortly after they learn that inside each of their friends was a magic bone that could grant them the greatest wish. That should be an eyebrows, right? Eyebrow razor. Okay. Trivia, food for thought. What is America's favorite pie to enjoy on Thanksgiving? What do you guys say? Is it chess, number 1, 2 pumpkin, 3 apple, 4 pecan, or 5 cherry?
Dos.
I think it's either pumpkin or pecan.
Pumpkin. I got 2 pumpkins. I got a number 4. Is it pecan or pecan? And number 3, apple.
I say 4. Pecan.
It's pecan, but people walk around talking about pecan.
Pecan.
This is
Pecan.
It's
Pecan. I said a little with my other student in the morning because we were talking about Burnett. Oh, the address for the job on Burnett Street, the Vanilla Orchid. And I asked her, so how does it pronounce? Is it Burnett or burn it? She's from Burnett, so she says burn it, like you burn it. You burn it. Like whatever, okay, cool. So I got a lot of 2s and the 4, okay? 2s and pecan. And Cole said apple. Nobody picked cherry, nobody picked chess, right? All right, let's see what it is. It is what it is, guys. It's number 3, Mr. Cole. You were the only one that guessed it. Ding, 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 ding. These are the top 9 favorite pies Americans enjoy for Thanksgiving. Number 1 is apple pie at 20%, strawberry 19%, pumpkin 16%, cherry 13%, blueberry 9%, pecan 8%, lemon meringue 8%, chocolate 5%, chess number 2.
I've never even had a strawberry pie.
Who's looking for strawberry pie?
They're not even in season right now. They're going to come around Valentine's Day. The Driscoll strawberries, but right now the strawberries suck. They're like small. They're like no flavor.
Maybe that's why everybody's pining for it during Thanksgiving. Oh, I wish I could have some strawberries.
Sweet potato pie is also famous, but it's not even going to make the list.
Yeah,
Right.
that's rude. They didn't ask enough people. My family only eats sweet potato.
Killer sweet potato. Anywho, apple pie, number 3. Thank you, Mr. Cole. All right, that is your newsletter for this week. let us take a look, see what's happening now, coming up tomorrow, okay? So let's begin with tomorrow. Let's do a quick recap. What did we learn last week, right? Recap on knife cuts. We covered a lot of knife cuts last week. I hope you guys remember. I hope you guys will not forget, okay? We talked about the large dice, right? And mise en place. What does mise en place means?
Everything in its place.
Right, everything is placed. If you want to hear the unedited version, is get your shit together, right? Pretty much.
Yes.
Right. So just unedited, but again, everything in its place before you start, mentally and physically, right? Because if you're going to go about fight a battle, you don't want to go with no boots and no guns in your rifle or in your gun, right? You don't want to go empty-handed. You want to fight the battle fully loaded, right? Here and also physically, okay? So anyways, mise en place, and clean as you go too, right? Medium dice, small dice, right? Brunoise, mince. We also covered about mise en place, cleaning up as you go, keeping stations uncluttered. Mr. Ralph, who else? Aaron and Cole did an excellent job the first week of keeping their stations clean and keeping the dishes cut up and keeping everything clean and cleaning before you guys left. We just, like I said, we just missed one item before on the first week, but you know, whatever. Anyways, you guys did an excellent job. It's going to get a little bit busier. I haven't heard nothing yet about a dishwasher, but it's going to get a little more, you're going to create more dishes. So just keep in mind that when you go along the days, the weeks, you're going to have more dishes that you're going to get dirty, okay? What else? We'll also talk about the knife cuts, oblique, bias cut, half bias cut, slice, half moon, bâtonnet, julienne, fine julienne, matchstick. We even covered chiffonade. We even covered the mother sauces, right? Bechamel, veloute, espagnole. What's the fourth one? What is it?
Is it tomato?
What's the fifth one? I haven't shown you them with that one yet.
Hollandaise.
Hollandaise.
Hollandaise, yeah.
Fifth one, okay. And again, veloute, brown veal stock, chicken stock. We also made tomato sauce, not stock. And we talked about these sachet d'épices and bouquet garni. So when it talks about sachet d'épices, guys, top right-hand corner, this is your sachet d'épices. Okay, let me move this thing around. Okay. Oh, it doesn't let me do. Okay, here we go. Okay, all right. So they're not, they are now in what they're supposed to be, okay? Your sachet d'épices is the ones on the right-hand side. It's a piece of cheesecloth. If you don't have any cheesecloth, any old rag that doesn't have any holes, you don't mind cutting it, cut a, what is it, a 6 by 6 inch square. Put your parsley stems, your garlic cloves, bay leaves, your whole peppercorns, and your thyme sprigs, and tie them like a little beggar's purse. See that string? And then hang it on top of, on the side of the pot of the handle, and put that in your broth. That's going to give it some flavor. That is your sachet d'épices. Bouquet garni is the one on the left-hand side. It's a green piece of leek with parsley stems, bay leaf, and thyme sprigs. That is your bouquet, bouquet garni. Okay. So whenever you see a recipe for sachet d'épices, that's what it means on the right-hand side. Bouquet garni is what it means on the left-hand side. They both utilize to flavor your broths and your stocks. Okay. What else? So let's talk about introduction to soups. How many different soup types do we have? Or what do you guys know? How many types of soups do we have? Different kind of soups.
By the looks of it, I'm gonna say 9.
Okay, so we got broth soups, right? That's one type, right? Broth soups, chicken noodle, beef and barley.
Yeah, broth soups, cream soups. I mean, is there like a pasta soup where you mix stuff in?
There's 5.
And 5.
Yeah. So broth and cream soups.
Chunky.
Which one?
Oh, I'm just guessing. Chunky.
I said we got kind of 6. Okay. So we got broth and cream soups, puree soups, lentil soup, black bean soup, right? Puree soups. We also got bisques, usually made with shellfish, right? Shrimp bisque, lobster bisque, okay? And the fifth one, we got chowders, kind of like a cream soup. And the sixth one is kind of like a puree. The sixth one is gazpacho. I call it the Italian salsa, what it is, right? So speaking of chowders, what kind of type of chowders do we have in the U.S.? How
New
many?
England clam chowder, corn chowder, everything.
There's two. Two types of chowders. Can anybody name them? You just name one, Ms. JC. New England clam chowder. They're both from the East Coast, but they're not the same. It's like the Yankees and the Red Sox. They're not the same.
Austin clam chowder.
Yeah. Similar. It's about,
Corn chowder.
no, it's about the same as New England clam chowder. Corn chowder is a variation of New England clam chowder and Boston clam chowder. Manhattan clam chowder. Manhattan clam chowder is not a cream or thick soup. It's a broth soup that has carrots and tomatoes. No, no cream and no roux. So you got New England or New Boston clam chowder, and you got Manhattan clam chowder. Two different types of soups, chowders. Okay, like I said, the Red Sox or the Yankees, different ones. Okay, both on the East Coast. The Manhattan clam chowder resembles Chilpino or fisherman's stew from San Francisco. Okay, because it is a broth soup and it's a clam soup. Okay, so let's go take a look at introduction to soups. No soup for you. That was a great show from Seinfeld. Soups. Okay. Soups can be classified by cooking techniques and appearances as either clear or thick. Clear soups, again, broths made from meat, poultry, game, fish, or veggies, as well as consommes, which are broths clarified to remove impurities. To clarify a consomme, it takes about 3 days because you got to make the stock first. You got to make the consomme, and you got to set it. It takes about 3 days. It's a long process. So when you clarify a consomme, you use the ingredients of egg whites. Ground beef is a beef stock, a mirepoix, and it's a technique how to clarify the consomme. Okay, some wines they use egg whites to clarify white wines. So if you're a true vegan, you always ask, is that a vegan wine? And some people might look at you like, what? Right? Because wine is made with grapes, is right? It's not made with animal product. But the inclusion of egg whites is what makes it a non-vegan wine. Okay, because you use the egg whites to clarify the liquid. Okay, egg whites act like a magnet and pull all the impurities. So we call the raft forms on the top, and you skim it off, and you just strain the pure clear liquid. Anyways, thick soups, including cream soups and puree soups. Most common cream soups are those made from vegetables cooked in a liquid that is thickened with a starch and pureed. Cream is then incorporated to add richness and flavor. Puree soups are generally made from starchy vegetables and legumes. After the main ingredients simmer in the liquid, the mixture or the portion of it is pureed. Some soups, notably bisques and chowders, as well as cold soups such as gazpacho and a fruit soup, are either clear nor thick soups, rather than use special preparation methods or a combination of the methods mentioned before. A soup's quality is determined by its flavor, appearance, and texture. A good soup should be full flavor with no off or sour taste. Flavors from each soup's ingredients should be blend and complement with no one flavor overpowering another one. I ever went to the extremes one time and made a strawberry bisque for Mother's Day brunch, one of the places that I was at. A strawberry bisque, a chilled strawberry bisque. And it sold. What it was strawberry ice cream and fresh strawberries, pureed and strained and served cold. That was it. Maybe a touch of honey. That was it. And I call it strawberry bisque, and it sold. So, Mother's Day brunch. We had a nice little display on the ice glow, the bowl of liquid ice cream and strawberries, such a honey, and it was surrounded by fresh strawberries. So and fresh berries like raspberries. So it was in a heart-shaped bowl, and the strawberries around it, fresh strawberries and raspberries. We're going ooh ah. I'm like, it's ice cream, but it worked. It worked. Okay? I wasn't deceiving the customer. It was just a strawberry bisque. what it was. Okay. So anyways, garnishing. When you garnish the soup, the garnish is supposed to make sense. It's supposed to have flow and supposed to not overpower the soup and complement the soup. Okay. It is an important consideration when preparing soups. When applied to soups, the word garnish has two meanings. The first one, more typically associated with the word. It refers to foods added to the soup as decoration. For example, broccoli floret floated on a bowl of cream or broccoli soup. The second refers to foods that may serve only as a decoration, but also as a critical components in the final product. For example, noodles in a bowl of chicken noodle soup, that is a functional garnish. In this content, the noodles are not ingredients because they are not used to make the chicken soup. Okay, think about it. Rather, they are added to the chicken soup to create a different dish. These additional items are still refers to as garnishes. Okay, we're going to make vichyssoise, potato and leek soup. What you can do is take some of those unused leeks, fine julienne them, and deep fry them to make a little fried bird's nest in the middle of your soup for the vichyssoise. Okay. Anyways, importance. Accompaniments are used to make the main dish complete, provide variety, and improve the nutritive flavor value of the meal. Accompaniments imparts flavor, taste, and color. Blending give contrast to the main dish. It helps to digest food, provides moistness. It gives piquance to the dish. It improves the satiety value of enhanced taste. Okay, so soup garnishes can be croutons. Okay, grated cheeses like French onion soup. It has both crouton and Greek Parmesan cheese, Gruyere cheese. Bits of crispy bacon. That corn chowder you were talking about with little bits of crispy bacon, excellent garnish and nice and crispy because the chowders have bacon in it or bacon fat. Whipped cream, a dollop on top of the soup, a little quenelle of whipped cream on top of the soup. Like your vichyssoise may have one of that, but it's too thin. I'm not going to hold it up. Okay. Parsley or chives or watercress cut very finely and sprinkled over the top of the soup, like your vichyssoise. Once again, piece of chive is great because if you look at it, baked potato has bacon, it's got chives, it's got sour cream. The potato soup you're going to make on Wednesday is potato, chicken stock, and milk or heavy cream, and a little bit of chives. Okay. Clear soups. Procedure for preparing broths. Again, truss or cut the main ingredient. Brown the meat first. Brown or sweat the mirepoix or vegetables necessary. You're not going to caramelize them because you don't want the broth to be dark. Place the main ingredient in the mirepoix and vegetables in an appropriate stock pot and add enough cold water to the stock to cover it. Add a bouquet garni, sachet de piece if desired. Your chicken stock has those steps. Okay. Bring the liquid to a slow boil, reduce, simmer, and cook. Skim it occasionally until the main ingredient is tender and the flavor is fully developed. Remember that foam on top, when it goes, means all your flavors have been fused together. If that foam is still prevalent, you taste it, everything tastes raw individually. Okay. Carefully strain the broth through a china cap, maybe lined with a cheesecloth if you want a nice, clear broth, no impurities. Try not to stir the flavor ingredients as little as possible. Cool and store the following procedures in the cooling stocks. Again, you did it last week. Okay. Broth-based soups, often used as bases, such as familiar soups as vegetables, chicken noodle, and beef barley. I love used to make beef barley. Sunday brunch, leftover prime rib with some mirepoix, some barley, beef and barley soup, excellent. Okay. Transforming a broth into a broth-based soup, for example, is quite simple. Although a broth may be served with a vegetable or meat, garnish a broth-based vegetable is a soup in which the vegetables and meats are cooked directly on the broth, adding flavor, body, and texture to the finished product. Any number of vegetables can be used to make a vegetable soup. Zucchini, yellow squash, like in minestrone, right? It also can be a single vegetables. It's an onion soup or a dozen different vegetables for the hearty minestrone. Okay. So procedures for making broth-based vegetable soups. Sweat long cooking veggies in butter or fat. I like to use butter, like usually a child. Add the appropriate stock or broth and bring it to a simmer. Add seasonings such as bay leaves, dry thyme, crushed peppercorns, parsley stems, and garlic, your sachet de piece. Add additional ingredients according to the cooking times. Simmer the soup to blend all the flavors. If the soup is not going to be served immediately, cool and refrigerate it. And just before service, add any garnishes that were prepared separately but not require cooking. Like we used to have our two signature soups. We used to have tortilla soup and lobster bisque. Lobster bisque, it was cognac creme fraiche garnished on top. And the tortilla soup was diced avocados, chickens, fried tortilla strips, and a little bit of Monterey Jack cheese on top, and it was sent to the dining room. Everything, when they got into it, the cheese was already kind of starting to melt. It was really great. Okay? So variations in wide variety of vegetables can be added or substituted. Consommes, again, it's a stock or broth that has been clarified to remove impurities so that it's crystal clear. Traditional all clear broths were referred to as consommes. A clear broth further refined using a process prescribed later was referred to as double consomme. It is a long process to make a consomme, long process. It's in your book too. The term double consomme is still used occasionally to describe any strong flavor consomme. I worked at a, back in California, Sir Winston's, we used to have the beef consomme on the menu. And I used to always take my time making the stock, clarifying it, all that good stuff, right? And I will leave on my Friday, which was Saturday, because I was off Sunday, Monday. Saturday, I will leave enough just for them to have on Sunday morning so they can make it again for the rest of the week. I will come back Tuesday on my Monday, back to work, and I will find this putrid-looking liquid that wasn't even consomme. The guy that was making it, he shoe-made this recipe. What he did was grab boiling water and add a beef base and call it consomme. I'm like, you gotta be effing kidding me, guy. You know, the people paying $8.50 for a cup of consomme, you're serving them beef base in liquid and water? No. So I used to get upset and I was trying to hurry up. And I knew that was gonna happen, so I'm coming on Tuesday a little bit earlier to start their consomme going. Okay. Anyways, try not to shoe make consomme. It takes a long time, guys, to make it properly. Okay. Anyways, in a suitable stock pot with one spigot makes it much easier to strain the consomme when it's finished. Combine the ground meat, lightly beaten egg white, and other clear meat ingredients. Add the cold stock or broth and stir to combine with the clear meat ingredients. So you grab the meat, the mirepoix, the egg whites, mix them together, put it in a pot, and add your cold liquid, and slowly bring it to a simmering. While that ground beef is going to float to the top, it's going to form that raft. Okay, as it's starting to bubble, as simmering is bubbling, you're going to poke a hole in that raft. You're going to poke a hole, and the bubbles are going to come through that middle, and you're going to skim it quite often to remove the impurities. Okay, and once it's done, you're going to slowly reach in and then remove that raft gently, not to disturb anything, in the trash. And then you're going to strain that broth in a fine chinois with double cheesecloth. Okay. What else? So that's how to make consomme. Like I said, it takes a long time, guys, but it's really awesome. It's awesome soup. Okay. Thick soups. Two kinds of thick soups: cream and puree soups. In general, cream soups are thickened with a roux, or the start with puree soups, relying on puree of the main ingredient and for thickening. But certain ways of the two soups is very similar. Some puree soups are finished with cream, partially chicken, partially thickened with the roux or cornstarch. Soups are not thickened with cornstarch. Cornstarch, again, is for sauces. So if you want to thicken your soup, it's with roux. You want to thicken a sauce with cornstarch. Keep those two separate, okay? Cream soups. Most cream soups are made by simmering the main flavor ingredient. For example, broccoli for cream or broccoli soup. In the white stock or thin velouté sauce to which seasonings have been added. The mixture is then pureed and strained. After the consistency has been adjusted, the soup is finished by adding the cream. In classic cuisine, thin bechamel sauce is often used as the base for cream soups and can be substituted for velouté in many other cream soup recipes if desired. Let's say you want to make a cream of mushrooms, right? You cut up your mirepoix, do your mushrooms, chop them up, saute your mirepoix, add your mushrooms. When the mushrooms are cooked, add your bechamel, bring that to a low simmer, maybe add a little bit of milk to thin it out. And once everything's fused together, puree the crap out of it. Now you got cream of mushrooms. We're using bechamel, okay? Just saying. Anyways, both hard vegetables, for example, celery and squash, and soft or leafy vegetables, for example, spinach, corn, broccoli, and asparagus, are used for cream soups. Hard vegetables generally sweated in butter without browning before the liquid is added. Soft and leafy vegetables are generally added to the soup after the liquid is brought to boil. Because the cream soups are pureed, it is important to cook the flavor ingredients until they're soft and can be passed through a food mill easily, or a chinois. Remove all the fibers and remove all the chunks. All the cream soups are finished with milk or cream. Using milk thins the soup while adding richness. I rarely made any cream soups with milk. I always use heavy cream. Like I said, Julia Child is one of my favorites, okay? So I go all the way out, okay? Cold milk is and curdles easily if it's added directly into a hot or acidic soup. So trying to prevent curdling. Okay. So procedures for making thick soups. Okay. In a soup pot, sweat the hard vegetables such as squash, onions, carrots, celery, or oil butter without browning in order to thicken up the soup. You are going to do this on your vichyssoise. Add the flour and cook to make a blonde roux. Then add the cooking liquid, which is a stock, just like your veloute. Add the stock to the vegetables, bring the stock to simmer, and add the blonde roux that was prepared separately, or add a thin veloute or bechamel sauce, which contain root and vegetables, okay? Bring to boil and reduce to simmer. Add any soft veggies such as broccoli, asparagus, sachet bouquet, sachet de peas, or bouquet garni as desired. Simmer the soup, skimming occasionally until the vegetables are very tender. Puree the soup by passing through a full meal, blender, fruit passer, or vertical cutter mixer. Strain through a china cap if desired. If the soup is too thick, adjust consistency by adding hot white stock, okay, or even a little bit just milk or heavy cream. Okay. Finish the soup by adding milk or cream or thin bechamel to cream sauce. Adjust seasonings and serve. Always add salt to the end, not at the beginning, because salt will bloom as the soup is simmering. Okay. Never add cold milk or cream to a soup. Bring the milk to cream to a simmer before adding it to the soup, or temper the milk by cream, by gradually some of the hot soup, and then add it to incorporating warm mixture over the rest of the soup. Because otherwise, you're going to use cold liquid into the soup. It's going to drop your temperature down, and it's going to take you longer to make that soup. Okay. Add milk and cream to the soup before service, if possible. Do not boil the soup after the milk or cream has been added. Use bechamel or cream sauce instead of milk, and cream finished soups, because the presence of roux and other starch helps prevent curdling. Okay. Puree soups are easy to make too. Okay. Puree soups are hearty soups made by cooking starchy vegetables or legumes in a stock or broth, then pureeing all or a portion of them and thicken the soup. Puree soups are similar to cream soups, that they are broth consistent, the main ingredient. That is the first cook in liquid and puree. I used to love grabbing the leftover veggies that came back from the banquet event that would not touch, and I used to make cream of garden vegetable soup. Again, make money out of trash. Okay. Primary difference is that unlike cream soups, which are thickened with a starch, puree soups are generally not used additional starch for thickening. Rather, puree soups depend on the starch content of the main ingredient for thickening. Also, puree soups are generally coarser than creamer soups because they're not typically not strained or after pureeing. When finishing puree soups with cream, follow the guidelines discussed previously by adding cream to the cream soups at the end. One of my favorite ones to make is butternut squash infused with honey over the fall. Man, it's so great. Puree soups can be made with dried or fresh beans such as peas, lentils, or navy beans, or within a number of vegetables, including cauliflower, celery root, turnips, potatoes. Dashed potato to rice is often used to help thicken the vegetables in puree soups. Okay. Other soups, bisque. One of my favorite ones, bisque. Okay. Traditional bisque are shellfish soups thickened with cooked rice. I never used rice, always roux. Okay. Today, bisque are prepared using a combination of the cream and puree soups procedures, generally made with a shrimp, lobster, crayfish, and are thickened with the roux instead of a rice for better stability and consistency. Much of the bisque flavor comes from the crustacean shells, which are simmered to cooking liquid, pureed along with the mirepoix, return to the cooking liquid and strain through a further cooking. Pureeing the shells and returning them to the soup also adds the thickness and greater texture associated with the bisque. Bisques are enriched with cream. Following the procedures of the cream soups, they can be finished with butter and additional richness. So for making lobster bisque, this is what I used to do, guys. I used to grab the 50 pounds of lobster shells. They used to send me the heads only. And I used to put them in a sheet tray, large line of parchment paper, and smear them with tomato paste, just like we did the bones. Roast those lobster bodies in the oven, and the whole entire kitchen would just smell like lobster. Take them out, caramelize my onions and carrots in the skillet, add a little bit of tomato paste, red wine, drop my roasted lobster bodies, okay, some red wine, and then fill them with water and let it go for about 8 to 10 hours, sometimes overnight. Come back the next day, strain the liquid, have somebody, or I mean, sometimes I clean the skillet myself, clean the skillet, sweat some mirepoix, onion, celery, and carrots, sweat, not caramelize. Then add some tomato paste, some red wine, and then added my liquid from the lobster stock. Okay. brought it to a boiling point, simmered it, and thickened it with a roux. I thickened it afterwards. Once it was nice and thickened it, and then I hit it with my heavy cream, and then seasoned with a little bit of salt. Once it was the right consistency to nape, I strained it, and that was my lobster bisque. Same can be done with shrimp. We are going to be cooking shrimp on week 6. If you guys want to make shrimp bisque at home, do the same technique. Grab your shrimp shells, caramelize them, add your mirepoix, onions and carrots first, tomato paste, red wine after being caramelized, and then hit it with your celery and then water, and let that simmer until the foam disappears. Okay, you can either thicken it with the roux there, or strain it and do a more caramelized onions and carrots. I mean, just sweat some onions, carrots, some mirepoix, add your tomato paste, red wine, your stock, thicken it with roux, hit it with heavy cream, and season it with salt. Oh man, what comes out is it's like pure gold. I used to use that base for crawfish etouffee as well too. Oh yeah. Okay. So anyways, that's a technique I used to make my bisques. Okay. Chowders. Okay. Although chowders are usually associated with the eastern United States, where fish and clams are plentiful, they are of French origin. Undoubtedly, the word chowder is derived from the Breton phrase "faire chowder," which means to make fish stew in caldron. The procedure was probably brought to Nova Scotia by French settlers and then introduced to New England. Chowders are hearty soups with chunks of main ingredients, including virtually always diced potatoes and garnishes, bacon, celery, onions, with some exceptions, notably Manhattan clam chowder. Chowders contain milk or cream. Although there are thin chowders, most chowders are thickened with roux. The procedure of making chowders are similar to those making cream soups, except the chowders are not pureed or strained before the cream is added. Nice and chunky, especially when you serve them in the bread bowl in the wintertime. Oh man. Okay. You render your fat, okay, sweat the mirepoix, add the flour to make the roux, just like you do your sausage gravy. Add the liquid, usually clam juice or fish stock. Add seasonings, your ingredients, potatoes, simmer, and then add milk or cream, and then add your salt. Okay. So garnishing for soups. Okay. Garnishing and toppings can be ranged from a simple sprinkle of chopped parsley on the bowl of cream soup to tiny profiteroles stuffed with foie gras, adorning crystal clear bowl of consomme. Some soups are so full of attractive, flavorful, and colorful foods that integral parts of the soup that no additional garnish are necessary. In others, the garnish determines the type of soup. For example, beef broth garnished with cooked barley and divvied up becomes beef barley soup. Foie gras. Do you guys know what it is? Have you guys had it before?
Yes, it's very good.
What is it?
It is fattened goose liver. It's like meat butter. It's so nice.
It's like meat butter.
Yeah.
That is sear in a hot pan very fast. A little crostini with a little bit of truffle oil. OMG.
That's a nap.
Right? Right? Yes, fattened goose liver. Here in the States, we got 2 farms. One is Hudson Valley Farms up in the East Coast along the Hudson River in New York, and they produce foie gras. It's about 45 pounds, 45 pounds from the foie gras, depends what kind of grade. And there was a big controversy, and it was banned in California and a couple of other states because of the procedure of gavaging the duck. Gavaging is force feeding the animals through a long metal tube shoved down the throat.
Yes, and because of that, like there was all these like speakeasy events in California that people were doing to like sample foie gras. They really think that they're doing something. It's so entertaining. But yeah.
And yeah, I get it. But you know, in the gavaging procedure, ducks and geese are very opportunist eaters. They'll gorge themselves so they can tolerate a tube shoved down their throat to force feed them. It all started back in the Middle Ages, back in the Middle East, when the hunters in Egypt were going out to hunt the geese and ducks during right before the winter settled in. And when they were finding out, those animals had fattened livers compared to the ones they hunted during the summertime. So that's where it began. Okay, the opportunist eaters that will gorge themselves. I ate so much one day, I OD'd on that stuff. It made me feel funky. That funky monkey junkie. Brass monkey. There she goes. All right, all right. Introduction to potatoes. Let's talk about Spuds, Mackenzie, Alex from Stroh's, right? Potatoes, grains, corn, rice, and other wheat and others, right? They're all known as starches. Some of these foods are vegetables, others are grasses. Like wild rice is not rice, it's the grass. Okay. Pastas, of course, are prepared products made from grains. Starches are, for the most part, stable foods, foods that define a cuisine and give it substance. All are high in starch carbohydrates, low in fat, and commonly used as part of a well-balanced meal, except if you're diabetic because your body turns those complex carbs into sugar. Potatoes, French pommes de terre. You're going to see that on the menu, pommes de terre puree. Okay? One of the few vegetables named for the New World, probably originating in the South American Andes. Botanical potatoes are succulent, no woody annual plants. The portion consumed is a tuber, the swollen fresh part of the underground stem. Potatoes are hardy and easy to grow, making them inexpensive and widely available. Americans eat nearly 43 pounds of fresh potatoes and 55 pounds of frozen potatoes annually. Pete Terry's, Mickey D's, Wendy's, right? In-N-Out Burger. Making potatoes one of the top 5 vegetable crops in the United States. You ever seen that lady on YouTube that she was eating nothing but French fries? She was on the verge of having a health issue collapse. Yeah.
Was it on My Strange Addictions?
I think so. She was eating nothing but French fries, and her husband tried to, help her to feed some veggies. He was like, gagging.
Yeah, it's like the dude that ate pizza, nothing but pizza for 20 years.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Anyways, potatoes, identifying spuds. They're different ones, okay? Kennebec, Northland Red, Russet are the same as Idaho's. Okay, so the recipe goes for Idaho's, you can sub for Russet. Same thing, okay? Japanese sweet potato, Lorette, purple majesty, Russian banana, roast fin apple, Hana sweet potato, jewel yam, golden Yukon, all blue, Austrian crescent, red gold, French fingerling. In Peru and Ecuador, they got over, I think, 400 kinds of potatoes. Okay. So identifying potatoes. Choose potatoes that are heavy and very firm with clean skin and few eyes. Avoid those with many eyes, sprouts, and green streaks. Soft spots, crack or cut edges. When ordering the size A, remember, size A is larger than size B. Okay. In the industry, we call red skins or B potatoes. They're the little ones, the ones I use for the tournament for demo, which must be between 1.5 inch and 2.5 inches in diameter. Since C potatoes or creamers are the smallest size, measuring about 3/4 of an inch to 1/5 inch in diameter, new potatoes are small, immature potatoes of any variety. They're harvested before the starches develop. Although red potatoes can be new, not all new potatoes are necessarily red skin. Okay? Controversy, not all red skin potatoes are new. True new potatoes are waxy with a high moisture content than a thin and delicate skin. Fingerling potatoes are typically heirloom varieties. Related to the original potato varieties from the Andes, they are generally small, long, and oblong and good flavor. Russian banana looks like a small banana and it has a firm texture, rich, buttery flavor. Red streaked French fingerling has a nutty flavor. Red ruby crescent has a strong, earthy flavor. All fingerling varieties tend to be low in starch, below starch, and are good for roasting and potato salads, not for mashed potatoes. Okay? Purple potatoes. Purple or blue potatoes have a deep purple skin. The flesh is bright purple, becoming the lighter when cooked. They're mealy with the flavor and texture of a small russets. Most common are all blue and Caribe, which are also quite popular in the mid-19th century. Red potatoes have a thin red skin and crisp, white and waxy, best suited for boiling and steaming. They do not have the dry, mealy texture that successful baking requires. Red potatoes are round instead of a long, oblong, popular varieties of the red Pontiac and Northland. Okay. Identifying russet or Burbank potatoes, commonly referred to as Idaho potatoes. So Idaho, russet, Burbank are all the same. Okay. Are standard in baking potatoes for baked potatoes, potato soup, so forth and so on. Okay. They're long with rough, reddish brown skin and mealy flesh. Russets are excellent baked and are best for frying. French fries coming up. No, you guys already did it. They tend to fall apart when boiled. They're marketed in several size categories. Select those in the size appropriate for the intended use. White potatoes are available in round, long varieties. They have a thin, tender skin with tender, waxy yellow or white flesh. Round white potatoes are also referred to as chef or all-purpose potatoes. White potatoes are usually cooked with moist heat and used for sautéing. White, roast, and finished yellow or yellowfin are popular varieties too. Sweet spuds are from different botanical family than original potatoes, or ordinary potatoes. Although they are also tubers that originated in the New World, two types are commonly available. One has a yellow flesh and a dry, mealy texture, known as boniato. Puerto Rico, boniato is, man, all over the place. And Cuba too, okay? Water Cuban sweet potato. The other one has a darker orange, moister flesh, and is high in sugar. It is known as a red sweet potato, but both types have a thick skin ranging from a color from light to tan to brownish red. Some dark skin sweet potatoes are erroneously labeled yams. Sweet potatoes should be chosen according to the degree of sweetness. They are best suited for boiling, baking, and pureeing. Although the less sweet varieties can be deep fried, the cooked fresh can also be used for breads, pies, and puddings. Sweet potatoes are available canned, often in a spice or sugary sauce. Yeah, Thanksgiving, right? You get it from the can, you put them in there in the pan, right? Maybe a little bit of cinnamon, some more brown sugar, throw them in the oven, right? Cover them in foil, take them out, sprinkle some marshmallows. You got baked sweet potatoes. Yams are the third type of tuber, botanically different from the both sweet and common potatoes. Yams are less sweet than sweet potatoes, but they can be used interchangeably. The flesh of yams ranges from creamy white to deep red. Yams are Asian in origin and are now found in Africa, South Africa, and the southern United States. Okay, so they're not the same, but you can change them. Okay, nutrition of potatoes. Potatoes contain a high percentage of easily digestible complex carbs and little or no fat. They're also a good source of minerals and vitamins, especially vitamin B6, vitamin C, and potassium. Although much of the vitamin C can be destroyed when potatoes are cooked in the liquid. The skin can be quite toxic if you eat tons of the skin at one time. Nobody's going to be sitting there eating skin, tons of skins, right? So very interesting to cook potatoes. You got baked potatoes, you got twice baked potatoes, you got gratin dauphinoise, lyonnaise, fried, boil, mash. Okay, your menu on Tuesday. Okay, Tuesday. You are making vichyssoise. That is a cold potato and leek soup. It is cold. The garnish is a creme fraiche or chives. Okay, or maybe you take some of those leeks, kind of fine julienne, deep fry them, little bird's nest on top, little haystack. Okay, puree the pommes de terre. It's on your practical. Okay, that is your mashed potatoes, sweet potatoes. They need to be smooth, not lumpy, and firm, velvety and silky. Okay, not runny, not oozy, not chunky. Okay, pommes de terre duchesse. Same technique as you puree the pommes de terre, but the only thing that is have is an addition of egg yolks. Once they're cooling down, you're going to pipe it and bake them in the oven to become golden brown. Okay, so I'm going to show you a demo how to pipe it. Because if you don't know how to pipe, you're going to make turds or poop emojis. Okay, can't go out too wide. They go tight and up. Okay, and then potato salad. Okay, potato salad. It's not mashed potato salad. Okay, think about your knife cuts, about your small dice, celery, onions. And your potatoes got to be medium dice. And it's potato salad. So you got to emphasize the cut of potato. You want to make some fresh mayonnaise and keep your skills up, go for it. If you want to buy, if you got Hellsman or Miracle Whip, your choice. I'm not going to say go ahead and make fresh mayonnaise. At school, however, I think you guys are going to make fresh mayonnaise, okay, for the potato salad, okay. So celery, onions, knife cuts. Keep away that smoked paprika, the cayenne peppers are garnished. It doesn't really go in potatoes, okay, guys? It doesn't go in potatoes, okay? I know you see it a lot, but it's not really a garnish for potato salad, okay? So that's your menu for Tuesday. Tuesday. Where do you go? Okay. Let's take a look at, first, let me see if I can pop in the vichyssoise. I'm going to pop the link in the chat too, okay? Where's the vichyssoise? Here we go, okay? So this is your vichyssoise, guys, all right? Yeah, that's a leaf from AT&T.
Research shows people remember commercials with nostalgia. So to help you remember that Liberty Mutual customizes.
Hello, this is Chef John from foodwishes.com with potato leek soup. That's right, we're doing the only soup that successfully leads a double life. Although there could be others we haven't found out about. But as far as we know, this is the only one. Since if you serve it hot, it's potato leek soup. But if you serve it chilled, it also goes by the name of vichyssoise, which is quite delicious. It would probably be easier to rhyme with. But since it's kind of chilly and damp out, we're going to be going with the hot version. And to get started with this delicious soup, the first thing we're going to have to do is take a leek. Actually, like 4 leeks. And we're going to need to trim them up. And while most recipes say to just use the white and very light green parts, I do like to include about 1 inch or 2 of that dark green. So I'm going to cut mine right there. And then we can go ahead and cut off that root end and split it lengthwise. And usually we wash our veggies before we cut them. But because leeks are famous for having dirt and sand hiding between all those layers, what we need to do is cut this first and then wash it. So we'll simply split that lengthwise and cut it across as shown. Oh, and I should mention, when you buy the leeks, we're going to need 1.5 pounds after trimming, okay, which is probably going to be like 4 or 5 leeks depending on the size. So I just wanted to mention, in case you bought 1.5 pounds of leeks, after trimming that wouldn't be enough. And then once all our leeks are sliced, we'll transfer that into a large bowl and fill that up with nice cold fresh water. And then we'll get in there with our hand and swish it around good. And what's happening as you do this, any silt or sand or dirt is falling to the bottom of the bowl. And if we lift those leeks out of the water post-agitation, they should be pretty clean. And by the way, depending on how dirty they are to start with, we can do that 3 or 4 times if necessary. So I did that twice, but that's going to be up to you. I mean, you are the boss of making sure your leek is on fleek. But anyway, once our leeks are trimmed, washed, and drained, we are ready to move to the stove, where we're going to begin this recipe using the classic French soup method, which is exactly like all the other soup methods, except we use twice as much butter. So we'll go ahead and melt a dangerously large amount of butter in our soup pot set over medium-high heat. And once that melts, or at least partially melts, we can go ahead and transfer in our leeks. And then we'll also want to toss in a spoon of salt. And what we're going to do is cook these leeks stirring on medium-high until they just sort of start to break down and soften up. All right, which is going to take, I don't know, 3 or 4 minutes. And then what we'll do when they start to slump and sort of kind of look like this is we'll reduce our heat down to medium and cook these for at least 30 minutes or until very, very, very soft. And please do not rush this step. It is the key to the entire recipe. Okay, so we're going to let those cook in that butter on medium heat, stirring occasionally for, like I said, at least 30 minutes. Although it could take more, no guarantees. And one thing we can do to keep ourselves entertained while we're waiting is to go ahead and prep our potatoes. And my favorite variety of potato for soup would be the Yukon Gold. I like the taste and texture, but I also think they give this soup an even more beautiful color. And all we need to do to prep these would be to peel them and cut them in smaller pieces. So I cut mine into eighths, and then we'll just keep those in some water so they don't turn brown while we're waiting for our leeks to finish. Speaking of which, let's go take a look. And you're probably thinking, those look nice and soft. I would stop right here. Well, they were close, but not quite as soft as I wanted. So I gave those about another 10 minutes until they look like this. So you really do want to go this far. It is critical to the recipe. They should be very, very soft and almost paste-like. And at this point, we go ahead and drain our potatoes and add those to the pot, along with some more salt, as well as our cooking liquid, which in my case is going to be chicken broth. Although a lot of recipes call for vegetable stock, which I've never made, since I've never been able to find vegetable bones. So I'm going to go with the chicken broth. And then what we need to do at this point is adjust our heat to maintain a gentle but steady simmer. And we'll simply cook these potatoes until they're very, very soft. And exactly how long that's going to take, I'm not even going to guess at, because I'm assuming we didn't cut our potatoes exactly the same size. So we're just going to let those simmer until they're perfectly tender. And this is me about a half hour later checking mine, except I'm using a wooden spoon, which is definitely not the right tool for this job. So I grabbed a fork to verify what I suspected, and I confirmed that they were very soft, which means we can move on to the blending step. And I'm going to do mine right in the pot with this immersion blender. But if you don't have one, you can just do this in batches with a regular blender. But be careful, don't burn yourself. Now that is some quality advice. But anyway, I'm going to use my stick blender. And even though we're going to add some more liquid to this, I always think it's easier to blend something like this smooth if we leave it thick. So it might take a minute or two, but once those larger chunks break down, you should only be a minute or two away from a very, very smooth puree. So that is looking just about perfect right there. And then what we'll do once that's been accomplished is go ahead and finish this off with some heavy cream. Ooh, check it out, heart-shaped drips. Anyway, we're gonna add some heavy cream, as well as a nice big spoon of creme fraiche. Oh, by the way, don't worry if you can't find creme fraiche. I'll provide a link on the blog post to a video that we showed you how to make your own. But anyway, we're gonna stir that in. And our soup is pretty much done except for two very important things. We of course need to make sure this heats back up, since we just added some cold cream and creme fraiche. Plus, of course, we're gonna have to taste for seasoning. And I determined mine needed, as it so often does, a little more salt. And then I just couldn't help myself. I also added a little bit of cayenne. Although I will admit, white pepper would be more traditional. So I'm gonna go ahead and stir that in. And like I said, wait for this to come back up to serving temp. We don't really need it to come back to a rolling boil, but we do want to serve this soup piping hot. And once we are happy with the temperature and the taste, we'll go ahead and ladle that up into some nice preheated bowls. Only crazy people serve soup in cold bowls. And then I finished up with a little extra swirl of creme fraiche, which was exactly one drip away from perfection. And then we'll finish up with a few chives. And that's it, our potato leek soup is done. And not only is it gorgeous and warm and comforting, it is also one of the most delicious soups of all time. And we have those slow cooked leeks to thank for that. And I forget what it is that makes them so delicious and savory. Actually, it might be the glutamates. Is it the glutamates? It could be the glutamates. But anyway, just an extraordinarily...
Sorry guys, this guy is killing me. Yeah, vegetable bones. So the difference is you're gonna chill this soup and serve it cold, okay? Not hot. Good luck finding those vegetable bones. That's vichyssoise. Let's see what else I got. The links on there. Let me see if I can find the one for Duchesse potatoes. Okay. I think I have one too. There we go. Duchesse potatoes coming up, guys, okay?
With a dessert this deliciously tempting, dinner doesn't stand a chance. Salted caramel and vanilla bean cheesecake.
A food mill works better. It needs to be smooth, no lumps at all. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to pipe it with your star tip and a pastry bag. Okay, you need a pastry bag and a star tip to pipe these potatoes. So a food mill needs to be utilized for these potatoes. If you don't have one, if you got one of those old school mashers, make sure there's no lumps, none at all. Okay. If you don't have a pastry bag, a freezer Ziploc bag, it will work as well too. But don't apply too much pressure. And the star tip has got to be bigger than that one. That's too small. Okay. Duchesse potatoes. So you got puree of pommes de terre. You got Duchesse potatoes. So if you guys want to peel them, cook them in the same pot, and then once you strain them, separate them both. One side, your heavy cream, your butter, your salt for your puree, and this one is your butter, your egg yolks for your Duchesse. Just trying to save you enough pots and pans so you're not there sitting and cleaning and scrubbing different pots and pans during the cooking process, okay? But if you want to, that's up to you. I'm just thinking ahead. Try to minimize the use of dirty pots and pans, okay? Especially you guys on the hybrid, Miss Erin, Ralph, and then Cole. You can cook them all in the same pot and then separate them both and then go from there, okay? So Duchesse potatoes, okay? Come on. Okay. Duchesse potatoes on, on Tuesday, tomorrow, okay? So that's what we have tomorrow. You have puree de pommes de terre, Duchesse, potato salad, and vichyssoise. You got 4 recipes on your production sheet for tomorrow, okay? Potatoes, 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 okay? Potato salad is about the knife skills, the puree and the Duchesse about the smoothness, and the vichyssoise is a cold soup, okay? That one's gonna be a little bit hard to make nappe because it's a cold soup, so you're not gonna get that nice nappe on the back of a spoon, okay? Any questions about Tuesday, tomorrow? Easy does it, right? So when you go in tomorrow, think about how you're gonna manage your time and how you're gonna multitask. I just give you 2 items in one pot, right? So think about those 2, okay? So that's for Tuesday, okay? Let's go over Wednesday. Wednesday, we're gonna be looking at pasta. Pasta. Yes, sirree, Bob, okay? Pasta. Introduction. I think it's on your page 23, page 675 or 632 if I'm correct. Pasta is made from unleavened dough of wheat flour mixed with a liquid, okay? The liquid is usually egg or water. It depends what kind of pasta you're gonna make and what you're gonna use it for. You have the semolina for fettuccine and spaghetti. You got the double O for ravioli or lasagna, okay? Flour and semolina. 2 different dough recipes, and I'm gonna give you both of them, okay? Anyways, the flour can be almost any grain, wheat, buckwheat, rice, or combination of grains. The dough can be color or flavor with puree vegetables. Can be done. Herbs and other ingredients. It can be cut or extruded into a wide variety of shapes and sizes. Pasta can be cooked fresh while the dough is still moist and pliable, or the dough can be allowed to dry completely before cooking. Pasta can be filled or sauced in an endless variety of ways. It can stand alone or be used in salads, desserts, soups, or casseroles. Pasta is widely used in cuisine of Asia, North America, and Europe. In Italy, pasta dishes are usually served as a separate course, often referred to as minestrone. In other European countries, Asia and the United States, pasta dishes may be served as an appetizer, entree, or dish. Northern Italy, pasta is almost unheard of. You got risotto, you got polenta, you got butter and heavy cream. Central and Southern Italy, pasta is more prevalent because in North Italy is more closer to Austria and France. So a lot of Austrian and French influence, okay? Identifying pastas, okay? The better known pastas are based with the Italian tradition of kneading wheat flour with water and eggs to form a smooth, resilient dough. This dough is then rolled very thin and come to various shapes before being boiled in water and dry for longer storage. Commercially prepared dry pasta products are usually made with semolina flour. Semolina flour ground from the hard durum wheat and available from a specialty purveyor, so it has a rich cream color and produces a very smooth, durable dough. Semolina dough requires a great deal of kneading. However, and bread flour is an acceptable substitute when preparing fresh pasta by hand. Asian pasta, generally known as noodles, is made from wheat, rice, beans, or buckwheat flour. It is available fresh or dried from commercial purveyors and in specialty markets. Okay? So Italian-style pasta made with pure semolina flour, which gives this dough rich yellow color. Gray or streaked dough probably contains softer flours. You got ribbons, you got tubes, shapes, Asian noodles, wheat noodles, rice flour noodles, bean starch noodles, buckwheat noodles. Okay. Many of us grew up with the kitchen pantries would overflow with boxes of dry pasta. You got Del Checo, you got all kinds of different name brands, all shapes and sizes and textures. These dinner time mainstreams came from the brands like Del Checo, Ronzini, Barilla, and more all the reliable sources of pasta that seem to be paired perfectly with any all-day Sunday sauce or quick weekday marinara. Home cooks and families they fed, they were all thoroughly content with the dry pasta. Lifestyles never even considered an alternative to the foods that shaped their Italian-American upbringing. Of course, we're all fully aware of fresh pasta. Many of us even can recall memories of flour, eggs, and pasta rolling machines. I mean, I didn't grow up in that childhood. I had bologna and Wonder Bread for lunch. Of course, we were all full of the fresh pastas, okay? But it was always far more common to break up in a box of dry spaghetti or penne or rigatoni with pasta and sauce was on the dinner menu. Then sometime in the 1900s to 2000, food found its way into pop culture. The foodie movement spawned the Food Network and similar entertainment, efforts that reveal eating to trending new heights. While this phenomenon led to celebration of cultures from around the world, it also resulted in unfortunate instances of food discrimination, where potential staffs will scoff at any food deemed not fresh. Truly convenience and became a pejorative term for the food industry. Okay? Some food art circles, dry pasta was labeled as an inferior to its fresh counterpart and unworthy of sauces prepared by five-star chefs and some home cooks alike. If there was ever a food opinion that was undercooked, it is that. The truth is, both fresh and dry pasta belong in your kitchen repertoire. There are recipes that benefit from having fresh pasta on hand, while there's some preparations that will be far more successful when you utilize the boxed dry pasta, and in the end, isn't the main goal to create a meal that is above all else delicious, right? Delicious is the key word. Before choosing what dish to make and which type of pasta to use, it is important to know that separates the two variations. So what are the main differences between the two forms of pasta? When you choose the box over the fresh versus vice versa. So fresh pasta and dry pasta are actually two completely different types of pasta. Okay? Not all pasta begins life as a fresh pasta. For example, you don't have to take fresh pasta and hang it in a food dehydrator to make dry pasta. And dry pasta certainly isn't fresh pasta that's gone bad or left out to go stale like bread. Two types of pasta are actually comprised of unique ingredients, which end up resulting in two products that are basically two entirely different foods. Dry pasta is made with a different kind of dough and without eggs, along with flour and primary ingredients for fresh pasta. The two separated preparations produce disparate texture, taste, colors, and what's more, many of the pasta shapes you now know and love and are as possibly with dry pasta. Here in the States, we bastardize the names, okay? Let me give you an example. What is the technical term or the name for angel hair pasta in Italy? What do they call it?
Starts with the light caparelli or something like that, right? Starts with the CA, I think.
CA. Capellini.
Oh, it's not Capelle D'Angelo?
Capellini.
Capellini?
Capellini. What about bow tie?
Farfalle?
Farfalle. What about rotini? The little spiral one.
Fusilli.
There you go. Remember that show with Jerry Seinfeld? Fusilli Seinfeld? Fusilli Jerry? Or Jerry Fusilli? Where the Kramer made the Jerry out of Fusilli. Anyways, we bastardize it here. In Italy, they have a lot of legends about their pasta. Even when Lucretia, the goddess of love, was traveling through Italy, She stayed at an innkeeper's bed and breakfast or hotel or inn, and she stayed there with the night. So the innkeeper was so enamored with Lucretia, the goddess of love, that when she went to her room, he went in and tried to get a glimpse of her through the keyhole of her door. What he saw was her navel, her belly button. So he came back to the kitchen, and according to legend has it that he created the tortellini in the shape of her navel, her belly button. Ding, 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 ding. Peeping Tom was born, right? Right?
Or
Legend.
a somewhat acceptable explanation for it.
Right. And the only thing that he saw was her navel. Then he created the little tortellini shape. So that's how the legend goes. And a lot of Italians have a lot of legends for a lot of the food stuff. So that's one that I know, okay? So here's more specific look at how the two types of pasta differ. Dry pasta made from semolina, flour, wheat, and salt can be stored at room temperature almost indefinitely. Air-dry, bronze extruded pastas originated in the southern Italy. Firmness of dry pasta allows it to hold up to the hardiest sauces. Rough texture helps flavorful sauces to cling. Or dry pasta, most shapes are dry pasta double in shape when cooked. Fresh pasta contains eggs and additional water, more tender than dried, and it takes half the time to cook. The delicate texture makes it a perfect for cream and dairy-based sauces. Fresh pasta is far more smooth than dry. Fresh pasta is more commonly in northern Italy. Like I said, risotto. It tends to be more expensive than dry, and it's also more, it must be refrigerated, okay? Have you heard the term al dente? That means to the teeth. So when you cook pasta, you bite it and you have no crunchiness, no resistance, but it's not loose like baby food, okay? This is to the toothsome bite that all pasta chefs worth their salt strive for the kitchen. This firm structure, the main culling cup of the dry pasta, provides the strength needed for dry pasta to stand up to heavier sauces with more ingredients. Some of the very best long dry pastas include spaghetti, rigatoni, linguine, bucatini, all take extremely well to tomato sauces and ingredients like meat, garlic, oil, and capers, olives, anchovies, beans, peas, and chopped vegetables. There are many pastas and sauce pairings that have become classics in Italian cooking. So when should you use fresh pasta? Fresh pasta is on the other hand, isn't intended to be served al dente. Instead, this pasta should be prepared until it's tender and almost velvety to the touch and to the tooth. It makes fresh pasta ideal for delicate sauces that use melted butter or whole milk as a base, like Alfredo or carbonara. Carbonara has no milk and no heavy cream. If you guys want to make carbonara on Wednesday, more than welcome. But it is a technique, right? Which are magnificent with the fresh pasta like tagliatelle, pappardelle, and fettuccine. A quick note about pappardelle, you might be saying to yourself, wait a minute, pappardelle is a fresh pasta and it goes wonderful with hearty, meaty bolognese sauce. What gives? The key to a great bolognese is the inclusion of simmering milk to the tomato-based sauce. Also, the dairy element that makes a pappardelle to go pasta for bolognese. Bolognese takes 2 to 3 days to make. It has got ground veal, ground pork, ground beef, cheese rind, tomato sauce, and then milk. Okay, and it takes about 2 days to make bolognese sauce. And at the end, you can't even tell if it's veal, pork, or beef, and it's very velvety, very smooth. It's not grainy. Okay. So grains, this covers in your chapter on 23. Grains, botanically, grains are grasses that bear edible seeds. Corn, rice, and wheat are the most significant. Both the fruit that is the seed or the kernel and the plant that is called grain. Most grain kernels are protected by a hull or husk. All kernels are composed to these distinct parts: the bran, endosperm, and germ. The bran is a tough outer layer converted into endosperm. Bran is a good source of fiber B complex vitamins. The endosperm is the largest part of the kernel and is a source of protein and carbohydrates or starch. It is used primarily in meal products such as flour. The germ is the smallest portion of the grain and is the only part that contains fat, also the rich in thiamine. The bran, endosperm, and germ can be separated by milling. So identifying grains. Some products are available as a stone ground form. This means that the grains are ground with some stone milled rather than by the steel blades typically are used for cracking, grinding, hulling, and pearling. Just like when you buy oats, so a lot of places want to use steel cut oats instead of stone ground oats. Anyway, stone and grinders are gentler and more precise, so they're less likely to overgrind the grain. Stone ground products will always be labeled as such as usually more expensive than steel ground ones. Corn, the only grain that is also eaten as a fresh as a vegetable, is used as a drying grain dates back to the 1,000 years in Central America along the preceded use as a vegetables. Cornmeal, made by drying and grinding special type of corn known as dent, which may be yellow, white, or blue. Cornmeal is most often used in breads, as corn for fried foods, or cooked as polenta and mush. You're going to be making polenta coming up on Wednesday. Products made with cornmeal have grainy texture and a sweet but starchy flavor. Hominy, also known as pozole or sap, is dried corn that has been soaked in hydrated lime or lye. It causes the kernels to swell, loosening the hulls. The hulls are germs that are removed and the kernels are dried. These white or corn kernels resemble popcorn, but with a soft, chewy texture and smoky, sour flavor. Hominy is available dried or cooked or canned. It may be served as a side dish or used as a stews and soups. Like masa harina, finely ground flour made from dried hominy. It is used to making breads, tortillas, tamales, and other Mexican southwestern dishes. Grits, traditionally made by grinding hominy. Those of you guys who love grits, grits are hominy. If you didn't know that, you'd have been eating hominy all this time. Okay. This tiny white granules may be used in baking dishes, but are most often served as a hot breakfast cereal, usually topped with butter and cheese. Oh yeah. Quick cooking and instant grits are available as well too. Okay. Rice, baby. The starchy seed of a semi-aquatic grass. Probably originating in the Indian subcontinent of Southeast Asia, rice is used as a staple by far more the world's population. From Vietnam, Thailand, Japan, China, Mexico, Europe, rice is all over the place. Rice can be incorporated to almost any cuisine, from Asia to Spanish to classic French. Even Louisiana, dirty rice, right? With the chicken livers. Its flavors adapt to the foods of seasonings with the rice is cooked and served. Its texture adds an appealing chewiness to meet the poultry dishes, salads, breads, puddings. Rice is not limited to a side dish, but may be used in stews and curries. For stuffing vegetables as game birds and puddings, salads, beverages such as horchata. Yep. I like to make mine with rice, not oatmeal. Oatmeal is different. And breads. Rice is divided into 3 types based on the seeds, on the size: long grain, medium grain, and short grain. Okay. Long grain is the most versatile, popular worldwide. The grains remain firm, fluffy, and separate when cooked. It can become sticky if overcooked or stirred frequently during cooking. Short grain rice becomes more starch, becomes quite tender and sticky when cooked. Italian risotto, you've been making risotto coming up. Okay? Japanese sushi and Spanish paella, arroz con pollo, right? Same thing. Okay? Jambalaya, all the same thing, right? Traditionally made with short grain rice. The appearance starch content medium grain rice falls somewhere between medium grain, becomes sticky when cool, so it's best eaten fresh, especially made in piping hot. Long grain, medium grain, and short grain rice are available in different process forms. All rice originally brown. The grains can be left whole with the bran attached to the brown rice, or they can be pearled for a more familiar polished white rice. Both brown rice and white rice can be processed into converted rice and instant rice. I got a big old sack of Uncle Ben's converted rice. Converted rice is parboiled to remove its surface starch. The procedure also forces nutrients from the bran into the grain's endosperm. Therefore, converted rice retains more nutrients than regular meal rice. Although the flavor is the same, converted rice is neither pre-cooked or instant. In fact, it cooks more slowly than regular meal white rice. Instant quick cooking rice is widely available and useful in time and concern. Instant rice is treated by fully cooking it, then flash freezing meal rice. Unfortunately, this process removes some of the nutrients and flavors. So don't buy the rice-a-roni box because it's diluted. Okay? Arborio is round, short grain rice, primarily in Italian dishes such as risotto. Very sticky with a white color and mild flavor. Another one related to that one is the bomba rice that they use in Spain for the paella. Okay? Basmati rice is one of the finest long grain rice in the world. It grows in the Himalayan foothills and is preferred in Indian cuisine. Matar pulao is my favorite. It is highly aromatic with sweet, delicate flavor and the creamy yellow color. Basmati rice usually aged to improve its aromatic qualities and grainy with a sandy texture. Therefore, they should not be substituted for all the wheat flour and breads and baked goods. Okay? Millet is a high protein cereal grain and bland, slightly nutty flavor and a white color. Used primarily as animal fodder in the United States. Millet can be cooked and eaten like rice or toasted like buckwheat and cooked like kasha. Can also be ground or for flour. Used for baking. Best combined with wheat flour. Millet is usually sold whole, so the husk is extremely hard. Oats, hull and oats, right? At the rice, oats are probably the most widely acceptable whole grain product in the American diet. Oats are consumed daily as hot breakfast cereal, oatmeal, and used for breads, muffin, cookies, and other baked goods. Okay, I use it in my smoothies in the morning. And oat groat is the whole oat kernel and they cut into the small pieces with the steel blades. Roll oats are marketed as old-fashioned oats, and groats are being steamed, then rolled into flakes, okay, flat flakes. Quick cooking oats are simply rolled oats cut into smaller pieces to reduce the cooking time. Instant oats are partially cooked and dry before rolling, so they are needed only to be rehydrated in boiling water. Roll oats are quick cooking oats that can be used interchangeably, but instant oats should not be substituted in most recipes. Oat bran is the outer covering of the whole oat. It is available as separate product. Although roll oats and cut oats do not contain the same oat bran. Quinoa, it takes longer to cook too. It's really hard. Native to the South American Andes, it was common food in Incas, who referred to as a mother grain. Although not botanically a true grain, quinoa's tiny seeds are treated as such. The grains are small, flattened spheres, approximately 1/16 of an inch in diameter, ring with the germ. They become translucent when cooked and have a slightly smoky sesame-like flavor. Several varieties of quinoa available, ranging from color from dark to brown, almost white. Larger white varieties are most common and considered superior. Okay. Your menu for Wednesday. You're making basic pasta dough. Do not use the recipe in the portal. Okay. Do not use the recipe in the portal. I'm going to give you 2 recipes in a minute, okay? So basic pasta dough. You are going to make fettuccine. You're going to use a tomato sauce. You make carbonara with it, okay? But carbonara is, after you cook the pasta, you got to mix egg yolks with shredded Parmesan cheese. And as your pasta is being sauteed in rendered pork fat or bacon, you're going to drizzle that egg yolk cheese mixture into your pasta, not into your pan, on very low heat, okay? You're going to mix it until it becomes creamy on top of your pasta, and then you put it aside and it's done. That is carbonara, okay? If your heat is too high, and if that drizzle of eggs and cheese touches your pan, you're going to make scrambled eggs, okay? And your tomato sauce. And again, Moses asked if you can make some different kind of tomato sauce with that. Go for it, okay? That's the base. Remember, some other sauce, okay? Crispy polenta, okay? Crispy polenta and creamy polenta, okay? They do sell it in the grain form, okay? And you're not gonna soak black beans, okay? You're gonna soak them on Monday for Tuesday, okay? That is your menu for Wednesday, okay? As you can see, this is how you make fresh pasta. This is flour, okay? And eggs, egg yolks, okay? Again, you make a little mound, little hole, and then put your liquid and start folding it in, okay? So these are the 2 recipes for you guys to have, okay? One is semolina flour. That's the one we're gonna make on Wednesday, okay? It calls for 120 grams of semolina, 50 grams of water. That is it. That's what we're gonna make on Wednesday, okay? That is semolina pasta dough, perfect fettuccine, spaghetti, maybe lasagna, okay? The other recipe, it's a double loaf flour, okay? They sell it at HEB. 100 grams of double loaf flour, 1 egg, and 1 egg yolk. That is perfect for ravioli, lasagna, tortellini, any other kind of pasta that it doesn't require to be that hearty, okay? So those are the two recipes. You are going to make semolina on Wednesday. Okay. Semolina, that pasta dough from beginning to end is going to take you at least about 2 hours to make. So be prepared. Okay. It takes about 20 minutes to knead it by hand until it's nice and smooth like a baby's butt. Okay. Nice and smooth. Not porous, not looking like the moon's craters. Nice and smooth. Okay. Like when we were like in our teens, our nice baby face, right? Nice and smooth. Okay. Once you knead it to that smoothness, you're going to wrap it in saran wrap and store it in your cooler, your refrigerator for at least 20 minutes, 15, 20 minutes. So you got 20 plus 20, that's 40 minutes. You're going to bring it out and then you're going to roll it to it's about less than 1/8 of an inch thick. Okay. That's also going to take at least about 10 to 15 minutes. I say 10 minutes because you're going to flour your table, bring out your dough, press, rub it, pick it up, flour it, turn it upside down, and press it with your rolling pin until it becomes nice and large, and then roll it from the middle outwards. Okay. Do not roll it back and forth because what you're going to do, you're going to have those gluten molecules fight against you, so the pasta is trying to go back to its original shape. Okay. So the middle out, up or down, or side to side. Lubricate it, pick it up, flour, and turn it upside down, and lubricate it again, and start rolling it again until it becomes about less than 1/8 of an inch thick. Okay. You should have a square or rectangle shaped pasta sheet. Once you have it, you're going to flour the pasta dough. Okay. You're going to fold it in half like a book. Okay. Flour, fold it again. Flour, fold it again. Okay. Once it's so folded, then you're going to cut it about 1/8 of an inch thick. Okay. Almost like chiffonade the pasta, but 1/8 of an inch thick. Those are going to make you your fettuccine noodles. Once you have those cut, you're going to go ahead and cook them in salted boiling water until the pasta becomes spongy. You're going to grab one strand and taste it with your teeth for that texture. Again, you're looking for the al dente. Okay, al dente. Okay. Once you get to that point, you strain it. Okay. Strain it and toss it in a bowl with some oil so it doesn't stick again because the pasta is still bleeding bleach. Okay. Toss it in some oil, and then go ahead and start heating up your sauce if you don't have it heat up. And then add your pasta, toss it in, and boom, you get your pasta dish ready to go. Okay. So again, the only difference between 00 flour, also known as pizza flour, and bread flour, pizza flour has about 14% protein content, as the bread flour has maybe 12, 12.5. So it's better suited for focaccia, and it's better suited for pizza, and it's better suited for pasta dough. So those are your two recipes. You are going to make ravioli when you go to Regional. So I would suggest keep the recipe handy. It's going to come around, okay, in your next Regional's kitchen block. That is what we're making Wednesday, okay? Again, crispy and creamy polenta. Okay, polenta, the creamy one, we're going to go with the recipe in a minute, okay? Any questions about Wednesday? Okay. Let's take a look at fresh pasta dough, okay? So you guys know what you're walking in. Like I said, it takes about 2 hours to make from beginning to end, okay? Which one is it? Looking at that technique, not the recipe, okay?
New apartment.
There is a bit of a clogging problem.
At least Geico makes it easy to bundle our renters and car insurance.
For bundling made easy, go to geico.com.
Let's start from the beginning.
Jen, the All Recipes member who submitted this fresh semolina and egg pasta recipe says, nothing beats fresh pasta, and this simple recipe is the best thing ever. You can use this recipe.
And again, semolina is water, not egg. You get too much protein in that semolina if you add egg. So if you add egg to your semolina, you're going to have a hard time rolling in a pasta. It's not going to work with you, okay?
To make any style of pasta you like, from fettuccine to ravioli to lasagna. Semolina is a special variety of wheat flour available at health food stores and gourmet grocery stores. Let's begin this recipe by sifting together 2 cups of all-purpose flour, 2 cups of semolina flour.
And again, we're not following this recipe, right?
And a pinch of salt. And sift onto a clean work surface. Use a fork to make a deep well in the center.
This is the technique we're going to use on Wednesday, okay?
Crack 6 large eggs in a bowl. Pour them into the well.
Again, not the recipe, just a technique, all right?
Add 2 tablespoons of olive oil. Whisk the eggs and oil gently with a fork. Then begin to incorporate the flour mixture from the sides of the well. When the mixture becomes too thick to mix with a fork, begin kneading it with your hands.
If you have extra flour on the table and your pasta dough is looking dry, don't try to incorporate that leftover flour and flakes. Scrape them off with your bench scraper. If your pasta's too dry, okay, you don't need to incorporate all that flour. You're gonna have some leftover flour, trust me.
Dust the dough and work surface with semolina flour as needed to keep the dough from sticking.
Regular flour is fine.
Knead the dough for 8 to 12 minutes or until it's smooth and supple.
Like I said, it takes about 20 minutes.
Wrap the dough in plastic. And allow it to rest at room temperature for about 30 minutes. Unwrap the dough. Divide the dough into smaller pieces. And a small piece at a time.
Yeah, we're gonna do it by hand on the machine. Okay. I think the other one has a better technique than this one. Let me see if I have that one here. Ta-da. I think it's this one.
Research shows people remember ads with nostalgia. So here's an ad to help you remember that Liberty Mutual custom.
I think this one is better.
Continue.
Really?
Hey, Chef.
Or
Go ahead.
Sorry, I just wanted to double check. Out of the recipes you were showing us on share screen, it's just the semolina recipe, right? So semolina and water.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, correct. We're not using the double O flour. You're not combining flour semolina. You're using straight semolina with flour. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
This is the technique I use is the well method. I guess named after looking at a well type of surface. So once.
Yeah, whatever. Okay. Anyways, I think it's in the chat. You guys get the gist of it, right? So, anyways, that's what we have on Wednesday coming up. Okay, you got fettuccine, okay, tomato sauce, polenta, and creamy polenta. So what I'm going to do on the kitchen on campus, I'm going to make the pasta dough with you guys. Okay, so I'll make it so you guys can see what it looks like. I'm also going to make the creamy polenta, which doesn't take that long, and the crispy polenta as well too. So I'll make those two with you guys. All right. So you guys can see how those are made and how they look like. Okay, so I'm gonna give you a demo how to make it on the table. Okay, so we got that on Wednesday. Let's take a look at what's coming up on as far as the shopping list versus the recipes. And I'm gonna cover the whole entire week because your stipend was for this week. So I hope you guys didn't blow your stipend, and I hope you guys only bought what is needed for this week, and reserve some of the items for next week. Okay, let's see, week 3 we go.
Chef, the stipend we got was for this weekend, next week, or just this week?
You're gonna use it for this week for the polenta. Okay. So let's take a look. Week 3 shopping list. Not week 4. Week 3. Okay. Week 3 shopping list. Here we go. Okay. So it says chicken stock. For those of you guys on the hybrid, I'm gonna get there as soon as possible. See if I have any chicken stock in the freezer. I'm gonna pull it out and maybe get it going in the stovetop. So you guys get there, you have chicken stock going in the stovetop. Okay. No chicken. You are gonna need to buy chickens. Okay. But it's gonna be for the following week. This was supposed to be for Friday. So if you buy them this week, freeze your chickens. You're not gonna need them this week until next Friday. Okay. Butter. You are going to need butter. Heavy cream, you are going to need heavy cream. You will need eggs. You are going to need Parmesan cheese. Okay. Leeks, potatoes russet. Again, Idaho, russet, they're the same thing. Chives, if you can find them, and not green onions will work as well too. New potatoes, don't really need them unless you want to use them for your potato salad, but don't really need new potatoes. Okay. Celery, yes. Green onions, if you don't find chives, use green onions. Red radish to garnish your potato salad. Regular onions, yes. Garlic, yes. Mushrooms, yes, for your creamy polenta. Basil leaves, yes, for your creamy polenta. Maybe use it for your tomato sauce. Oregano, yes. Okay. Carrots, asparagus. Those are for asparagus are for the not until next week. Okay. So if you buy them, they're not going to go bad because you're going to need it for next week. Okay. Dry ingredients: nutmeg, kosher salt, olive oil, AP flour, semolina, white wine, okay, cornmeal, polenta, black beans, long grain rice, arboreal rice. Okay, that's what the shopping list says. Let's take a look at the recipes. Okay, so tomorrow we are doing pasta. Vichyssoise. Let's take a look at Vichyssoise recipe. Okay. Eek. Leeks. Okay. And again, this makes 1 gallon. Okay. So you can definitely cut this recipe by half or quarter. Usually when I make it, I only make 1 quart. So I cut this recipe by quarters. Okay. So if you want to make the whole gallon, go for it. If you don't, cut the recipe by quarters. You're not going to need 2 pounds of leeks for 1 quart because you're going to make the same amount as we did the bechamel, veloute, or tomato sauce. Whole butter, okay. Russet potatoes, 1 potato is fine. It's about 1 pound each potato. Chicken stock, 1 quart, okay. Salt, heavy cream, about half of that. Milk if needed, okay. So that's for your vichyssoise. Palm is the tear, okay? So we're gonna use 2 potatoes for this recipe right here because 1 potato is not good enough, okay? So 2 potatoes, they're about 1 pound each. I like to use heavy cream instead of milk. Butter 2, salt and nutmeg, okay? That is your recipe for the puree potatoes. Remember, it's on the practical, okay? It needs to be firm, not loose, okay? Duchesse, same as your pureed potatoes. Only difference, it has nutmeg and eggs and egg yolk. Okay, so you're going to need those eggs and egg yolks for this recipe. Okay, potato salad. Okay, and again, we're looking at mayonnaise. If you want to buy it, if you have it, use it. If you don't, you want to make it, go for it too. Okay. Waxy potatoes, again, Idaho's, the russets are the best ones. I mean, they're fine too. Eggs, if you don't want to use eggs in potato, I'm fine. I'm okay with that too. If you're going to use them, hard boil them and then cut them into wedges and then put them around it as garnish. Okay. Celery, green onions, radish, cornichons, Dijon mustard, parsley, salt, and pepper. Vinegar, I don't use vinegar in my potato salad, so that's optional, okay? Parsley, if you find it, great. If you don't worry about it, okay? And that is your menu for Tuesday, right? Let's go take a look at Wednesday, okay? Everything on the shopping list for Tuesday is there. Let's take a look at Wednesday. Pasta dough, you have the recipe, right? So see, this one says AP flour and semolina. No, you already got the recipe. I just gave it to you guys, okay? So don't go by this recipe, okay? You got crispy polenta, okay? Chicken stock. Okay, so if you left one quart, you might want to take another quart out, okay? But again, this yields 32 ounces, so cut the recipe by half, okay? 1 cup of cornmeal, salt and pepper, Parmesan, and whole butter, okay? So again, 32 ounces, unless you like crispy polenta, go for it, okay? This is gonna make you about a sheet tray, this size, about maybe 18 by 10, about an inch thick of polenta, okay? Just about, okay? Creamy polenta, okay? This one has, again, chicken stock, escallo polenta. This yields 1 quart, okay? Yellow onions, 8 ounces, olive oil, 2 ounces, garlic minced, 3 tablespoons, mushrooms, quarter, 16 ounces, 1 ounce of fresh basil, oregano, butter, salt, heavy cream, Parmesan, and basil sprig as needed, okay? This makes 32 ounces. I like the recipe a lot. When I made it here, man, I was digging it. I almost ate all of it. And I had 2 classes back to back. So I'm like, I got to cut back, okay? So this is a good recipe. It's nice and creamy, okay? Let's take a look at what's coming up on next week on day 14, okay? So Sunday, you are going to soak your beans for the next day, Monday, for Tuesday, okay? You're making rice pilaf on Tuesday. Rice pilaf, it is on your practical. Remember that. You need butter, onion, carrot, celery, brunoise. You should know what brunoise means and what size brunoise is. Long grain rice. Usually we use jasmine rice for this this recipe. Chicken stock. You're going to need 1.5 cup of chicken stock. Okay. So the ratio for rice is 1 part rice, 1.5 part liquid. In this case, you are cooking 1 cup of rice. You're using 1.5 cup of chicken stock. That is going to make you at least about 4 or 5 servings of rice. Okay. And it's about the technique. Okay. So rice pilaf coming on day 14. Okay. On the practical. Remember that. Okay. Risotto. Tuesday next week. Okay. You have chicken stock again. So you're going to need chicken stock. Butter, arborio rice, onions, small dice, garlic mince, Parmesan grated, whole butter, and salt. And it's about the technique on the risotto. We're going to cover that on next week on Monday. This lecture, we're looking for the sucré. Sucré from French to English means sugar. We're going to caramelize the natural sugars coming out of the rice to give it a nice crunchy texture at the bottom of the pot, the rice, and to give it a light golden brown color. That is what makes risotto, okay? And the black beans, you can make soup out of those. You can make a relish. You can make a salsa. It's up to you about the black beans, okay? That's your discretion, okay? But they got to be cooked, and they got to be presented too, okay? Day 15, which would have been Friday, is coming up next week, day 15, okay? Day 15. You are going to fabricate a chicken. You're going to French cut that chicken. I'm going to show you a demo. That's Wednesday on school, on grounds. I'm going to show you a demo how to French cut that chicken because you're going to saute it. Okay, I'm going to show you a demo of that too. That is on the practical. It says French cut, and there's no link on it, but I'm going to show you what it's all about. Okay. You can use store-bought for the next week. Okay. So chicken stock. If you don't have any chicken stock, you can use store-bought. I had a box of chicken broth in my freezer, and I used the last block when it came to this day because I run out of chicken stock. Okay. So I'm going to show you a demo on how to fabricate the French cut breast of chicken. It is on the practical. It is very easy. It's not intimidating, okay? The chicken, the French cut, it means you're going to remove the whole breast with a tenderloin and all the skin in it. And you're going to remove the first, you're going to remove the second joint off the wing, okay? You're going to cut around here, around the base of the armpit until you get to the bone. And scrape the meat back to the second joint, okay? Everything back. And you're going to snap that second joint off, and it's going to leave this little bone here exposed with about ½ inch of the meat attached to the armpit. That is a French cut breast of chicken. And I'm going to show you how to do that on Wednesday. It isn't the practical, okay? French cut breast of chicken sauteed. You're going to blanch asparagus, okay? And you're going to cook rice pilaf. So Wednesday is your actual first day of making a whole meal, okay? A whole meal, a whole dish, a whole entree. This is when your plating techniques are going to start to take off, okay? And I'm going to show you, because I'm going to do the same thing at the school on the rice pilaf, the asparagus, and the chicken. I'm going to fabricate, I'm going to saute it, I'm going to cook it off. I'm going to go ahead and start, blanching my asparagus, making the rice pilaf, all that jazz. And I'm going to plate it up in school, give you guys a demo of what I'm looking for as far as your plating techniques, okay? The only thing on this day, there's no veloute, okay? No veloute, okay? So I'm going to see if I can, if there's any veloute made from one of the classes that I can pass to us, we can use, okay? Or not, chicken slice, you guys can make your own veloute at school, okay? So that's coming up on Wednesday. Fabricate chicken, French cut breast of chicken, blanch asparagus, and rice pilaf. This is your actual first dish you guys are going to assemble that day. Oh yeah, okay? So now you got 1, 2, 3 recipes on this day, okay? So on Wednesday, we're going to go over it again on Monday lecture, and I'm going to talk more extensively about what it looks like and what I'm looking for. I might give you a sneak peek on that one right now, okay? Where's day 15, right? Let me go day 15. Day 15. Okay. So day 15, this is part of the lecture for day 15, guys, okay? Come on. So that's your menu for day 15. See that French chicken, French cut breast of chicken on the top left? In its raw stages, okay? That's what I'm looking for. The nice, plump, meaty breast with all the skin on it and the wing bone exposed, and the base of it, like maybe ½ inch of meat, okay? Your rice pilaf, your bunch asparagus, and the whole dish assembled, not separate, with sauce veloute. That is when you're gonna need your veloute sauce for, okay? So not this week. So if you have it in the fridge, freeze it. You're gonna need it on that day, okay? Unless you wanna make another round of veloute sauce, but if not, that is on coming up on next week, okay? So French cut breast of chicken. Yeah, that's when all the fun starts to happen, because after that, the game is on. We're going to start plating, assembling plates, the whole 9 yards. Okay, you're going to start assembling plates. But again, this entire menu, it's on your practical minus the blanched asparagus. You're going to have green beans instead. Okay, so this day, day 15, is actually your practice day for your practical. But you got ×2. One has pure potatoes, one has rice pilaf. So day 15, put in your calendars, okay? You do well on it, and you're gonna have it. You're gonna have more of an advantage how to, pass the practicals with flying colors. Okay, so day 15, again, it's everything's on here. It's on the practical minus the asparagus, and I'm gonna show you how to French cut the breast of chicken. It's relatively easy. It's not intimidating. Okay, I even had a student who's vegan, is vegan. And she had a hard time when it came to the sounds of the crunching bones and cut into the chicken. But she did it. She aced the practical. She aced it. So can be done, guys. Can be done, okay? So that's coming up ahead, day 15 next week, okay? Any questions so far about tomorrow and or Wednesday?
Not not anything specific, chef, but for the requirements for the chicken stock, does that mean we're supposed to be making our own chicken stock again, or are we allowed to buy it?
For when?
The recipes that call for chicken stock, are we using the white stock that we've been storing?
Yes.
Or should we make more if we run out, or?
Well, no, you're going to use everything you made last week, your white stock, that's your chicken stock. You're going to use everything, but you also got another chicken to fabricate coming up in day 15. You're going to make stock out of the carcass again to regenerate more chicken stock because you are going to use it later on.
Okay, thank you.
If you burn through all your chicken stock that you made last week, again, I'm okay with you guys having a pre-bought chicken stock, okay? Because we're going to use quite a bit in the next, you're going to use it for risotto, for polenta, rice pilaf, creamy polenta. So you're going to use it all over the place next week. So, and vichyssoise too. You're going to burn through that chicken stock. That's what I'm saying. On the vichyssoise, cut back and quarter that recipe so you don't burn through all your chicken stock, okay? Unless your family loves vichyssoise and you're going to serve an army, go ahead, okay? It's not quarter that recipe, okay? And when it comes to breaking that chicken, regenerate more chicken stock. Make it and freeze it because you're going to use it again. Especially in the practical. Practical is no store-bought chicken stock. That is the only thing that is allowed to be prepped before the practical, okay? Because everything has to be made up the day of, okay? So any questions? Tomorrow's not a hard day, it's an easy day. Like I said, mentally mise en place, right, up here. And be ready for tomorrow because we're gonna start. And like I said, I just gave you 2 ideas how to do one dish in one pot. You puree and the chest potatoes, right? So those are easy. And then your vichyssoise, okay, can be going at the same time you're doing your potato salad. You can have your leeks and going in here too, but you can have your potatoes peeled and diced, cooking for your potato salad at the same time, okay? You just gotta know how to manage your time. Because again, what I've been trying to show you guys since last week on here in my kitchen, how to do certain things at the same time. So when it comes to the practical, you're not struggling on doing the velouté times 2, doing 2 French cuts roasted chicken times 2, puree potatoes, rice pilaf times 2 blanched green beans and 2 salads. You got 10 items to do on the practical. So this is practice, how to manage your time and how to multitask. Okay, so be prepared tomorrow, be prepared on Wednesday, and even as we go next week, be prepared. That a pasta on Wednesday takes 2 hours from A to Z. 20 minutes to make the dough and eat it, another 20 minutes to let it rest, another maybe 50 minutes to roll it out and cut it, maybe 5-10 minutes to cook it off, okay? And then, so there goes about 2 hours, an hour and a half, 2 hours. So be prepared for that part, okay? Any thoughts? Any comments? Any questions? Any issues? Shopping list, recipes. For those of you guys who have made the makeup work, thank you, Mr. Moses. As you notice, your grade has been updated on the portal. Those of you guys who are missing the makeup work, try to submit it as soon as you can. Don't let the time go by too far along because week 5 is when week 6 is when we'll no longer be accepting any makeup work. Okay, so if you miss anything between now and then, try to make it as soon as you can. No pressure, but week 6 is no more makeup work being accepted. Okay. Next week, Monday, week 4, when we go on lecture, I'm going to put your names who has not completed the knowledge conversion quizzes. That is a little reminder. It's not the naughty list. So if you're not completed the knowledge conversion quizzes over this yet, or over this holiday weekend coming up, your name is going to go up on the board, and I'm going to go over and just put it up on the screen so you can see which knowledge conversion quizzes you're missing. And it's a little alert, hey, get them done. Because trust me, week 4 is going to go by. Week 5 is going to go by. And before you know it, they're going to be locked out. They're going to be closed. Okay. So got to get them done before they close. Okay. So if you're one of those persons like to wait till the last minute, don't, because then they close. Okay. And they will drop your grade average tremendously. Okay. Any questions? Any comments? Any concerns? Today it's a short day. It's a short week, but you can bet Monday next week we're going to cover Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. We're going to cover 5 days on Monday. Okay. So be prepared for the long lecture on Monday. Okay. Be prepared for the long week coming up after this holiday. Okay. Any thoughts, comments, questions, concerns, issues? Okay. All right. Either go out and get your shopping done, get it ready, and be prepared for the next couple of days. Okay. Deuce.
Good night.
Night.
Good night, Chef. Bye, everybody.
Thank you, Chef.
Which one, Miss Taylor? What's the best way to make them? Which one, Miss Taylor? To make what? Which ones? Oh, quinoa. Well, you gotta have the right amount of liquid for the quinoa, and you gotta bring that water and quinoa boiling at the same time, until it becomes nice and soft, not crunchy. Because quinoa is hard to cook. It's one of the hardest grains to cook too. So it's gonna take longer and more liquid. So as you're tasting it with your teeth, it's gonna be crunchy, and your water is gonna reduce. So add more water or chicken stock and continue to cook it until it becomes nice and soft. Okay. It takes time. It takes time, and you got to add more water because the water is going to evaporate.
Can you add anything else to it, or is it just with the broth? Like, you know how like rice, you can add extra stuff into it and it gives more to it? I don't know how to explain that.
No, quinoa is easily just use it for a salad. You really can't flavor the broth. Just use chicken stock, maybe a bay leaf, some garlic, sachet de peas, bouquet garnis. Cook the quinoa, strain it, and then cool it, and then add whatever you want for that quinoa. Bell peppers, onions, whatever flavor you're looking for.
Okay, yeah, because I have a whole bag, but I've never really made it, so I didn't know how to do it.
Yeah, just cook it like I said. Just look at the bag in the back of the bag, and it should have your instructions, the recipe, I forget what goes in it, how much the water versus the liquid, the right amount. And you're going to cook it, but you also got to test it as it's being cooked, and also add more water as it goes so it doesn't burn or dry out. And at the end, strain it, cool it down, and then you can make it into whatever salad you want. You can want to go Mediterranean, olive oil, olives, garlic, rosemary. You want to sun-dried tomatoes. You want to Tex-Mex, cilantro, jalapenos, whatever you want to.
Okay, I see. Yeah, that was the only thing that I've never really made it, so I didn't really know how to make it or what to add to it. Like, I know I saw that it said that you could do it with like water or like the chicken, but I wasn't really sure if, like, other than that, how else you could use it.
Yeah, it like says primarily for a salad, not for a soup, not for a hot side dish, because if you're going to use it as a hot dish, it might get soggy, and it's going to change the flavors and the quality of it.
Okay. Sounds good. Thank you, Chef.
You're welcome.
Good night.
Bye.